Hello, everyone. This is Leonard Guzman here with Emily Robinson on the Modern Divorce Podcast. It's August 15th, 2022. It's like we're in the middle of summer still. I thought summer because of like football's coming, got fantasy football notifications coming. It's not. It's just like I know school's coming in now.
Yeah, we're back in school. Um, it's crazy. I mean, I'm ready for some fall weather. It's been like 100 degrees every day.
Yeah, here, in the valley here in Los Angeles, this is Los Angeles County. It's like 100. It's been 100 for the last 2 weeks. But I guess it's normal. I think maybe by like a couple decades from now, I was like, oh, this is 100 degrees is fine. Yeah, 120 is what's hot. So
Yeah, I mean, that's normal for us, here in the Southern California desert, but um it's I don't know. I grew up here. It's been like this forever, but I still every year I'm like, how is it so hot? Even though I should just be used to it, but it's like you forget every year and then you have to adjust to it again.
yeah, it's always surprising me. This is the time of year I tell my wife I want to move, go somewhere cooler and coastal. And every year I don't move. I stay here.
We need two
So,
homes, one for summer, one for winter.
oh, that they have vacation home. So, yeah, next year, hopefully. Let's get into the show here. Let's get into it. What we do in this part of the show, we go over divorce news. We see what's trending on Google. A lot of things come up with celebrities. Financial things come up. Pet custody. I see here child custody. I know in my neighborhood, pets are just as important as people's kids. I see here a topic here. We could discuss that, but let's go over what we got here. So Metallica. Are you a Metallica
I
fan?
like Metallica, definitely
That's
back
some
in the day.
that's some good hits. That's some good hits. So I'm just gonna read a headline here because I see a couple things. With so this one, so the lead. It looks like the lead singer, you would say. So Metallica's James Hetfield filed for divorce from wife of 25 years. And also, which is kind of weird, is like, I don't know if it's a number of 25 today, but Kiev mayor Vitaly Klitschko says he's to divorce wife of 25 years. So he's a boxer. I believe they're twins. I know his twin married. I'm blanking, but I used to watch this show Heroes on NBC, and so he's the twin. He's the other twin. So 25 years. Is it just coincidence? So I'm assuming 25. I mean, I don't know the age. I'm gonna click here, but is it just coincidence? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, that I don't think it's coincidence. I think people live so much longer now and you want to be able to enjoy, if you're unhappy, you still can enjoy the rest of your life. Even if it's a gray divorce, you still have plenty of time to meet someone new or be single if you want. And I think a lot of people, once their kids are grown or once, you know, they're heading towards retirement, although I know it's a little bit different with like celebrities, but um, you just look at your life differently and you think, I want something different. So I'm not sure that it's really coincidence as much as it's, it tracks with like time periods in your life. Like a lot of people get divorced during the typical midlife crisis time. A lot of people get divorced like when their kids would go off to school time. So I think it tracks with like life event timelines.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, almost every episode we're dealing with somewhat of a gray divorce. So we'll probably see more, I guess, dynamics of it and what comes of it. But the next one has to do with pets. So this comes out of South China Morning Post. But this is, I think globally, pets are just you love your pets so much. I don't think it has to do with where you are in the world. So this particular case is quote, not without my corgi, right? Am I saying it right? Divorce in China turns nasty after a couple can't agree on custody of pet dogs. So court has had to mediate between a childless couple seeking a divorce after they could not agree on custody of their pet. So after the story was reported, it caused widespread online conversation in China about the fate of pets in divorce. So I mean, I'm not going to go through it because I'm sure the court in China, where I don't know where particularly is different, but here in the U.S., how would a pet in a divorce go if it's like in this case, like a single pet?
Well, it's a good question. So a lot of times people will agree to share custody of the pet. You know, the pet is with one party some of the time, the other party the rest of the time. Sometimes people just agree the pets go back and forth with the kids. Sometimes people say you can have the pet, or you have this dog, I'll have that dog, or you have the cats and I'll have the dogs, that kind of thing. And if they can't agree, the court can actually decide who gets the pets based on, who's more likely to be able to take care of the pet, who's the pet bonded with, all of that. So it's, there's lots of ways it can go. It's recent that the court can actually make that decision. It used to be that pets were looked at as property, but there was a new law recently that now the court has to factor in, because pets aren't just like intangible property. Like they have to factor in their emotions, what's, who they're bonded with, who can take care of them, more like they're a living thing than, who gets the house kind of thing.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm sure there's things like if you had the dog before you got married, it's kind of like a child, right? Like, and then if you get the dog in the marriage, I'm sure those dynamics all factor in. So it's interesting. Yeah, you're right. I would like, oh, it's property, but it's not. So it gets complicated.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Next one is from marketwatch.com. So you need a cheap divorce? Here's some options. All right. Stay civil with your spouse. So this is number one. Cheap divorces come from civil and cooperative relationships. If that's your situation, take advantage of it and make your divorce a negotiable instead of a fight. Number two, use your state's free online divorce option. So I guess there's free forms available at your county courthouse, interactive online interviews, interactive forms, or form packages with instructions. What else? Consult with nonprofit legal aid organizations. Hire a document preparer for a cheap divorce. File a cheap divorce online using commercial services. It reminds me of people who do like their taxes. Like taxes can get super complicated. You can do it yourself, but like in my experience and what I've seen people do, it's like you net like you end up paying for more if you do it for yourself. Like it's like also when I do my own plumbing, when I fix the sink, it's just it could have been like a few $100s and it becomes thousands. So is this the same way you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's what's hard. It's, people want to save money, which makes sense. So you can do it yourself. But it is much harder to do it yourself. And a lot of times, if you don't do it correctly, it costs more for the lawyer to come in and fix it after the fact.
Yeah, untangle everything. He's like, why did like the plumber's like, why did you do this? Why did you break the valve? And now it got worse. So
Yeah,
do it a little, do it cheaper, and learn from me.
right.
Do it the easy way. Okay. Our next article is from moms.com. Tips for teens dealing with parents' divorce. No matter what, remember that a parent's divorce is not a kid's fault. So remember, here's some tips for dealing with parents' divorce. Remember, it's not your fault. First thing that teens need to remember is that their parents' divorce is not their fault. It's a mantra that should be repeated daily. You're not a go-between. Teens need to put their foot down and tell their parents to either speak to one another or through their attorneys so that they do not need to pick sides or feel so they're not feeling trapped in the middle. Whatever is being felt is understandable. Being physically active will help. So they advise teens to get hobbies like boxing, basketball, running, hiking, walking, keeping open lines of communication with both parents. Speak with friends who had parents divorce. So talk with those who made it through to the other side, and seek help if necessary. Unbiased ears to speak with that can provide guidance and assure teens that they're entitled to feel what they feel and not blame. Do you think like it's like a teen is like you're becoming like an adult, like an adolescent? You remember this, like it's probably gonna follow you through your whole life. It's
Yeah,
a tough time.
it is a tough time. And I think it is important, a lot of people think, oh, my kids are older, so they'll understand, but they're still kids and it's still a hard time for them. And they still need the appropriate resources like therapy and someone to talk to and counseling. All that is still really important. But the other thing is that, it's not the divorce that really affects kids, it's the way the parents act. So if the parents act mature and they, are responsible and they deal with things well, the kids will be a lot better than if the parents act immature and just fight all the time and make it awful for the kids.
All right, let's get to the part of the show where we ask Emily anything, where we go through go through posts where people are going through the divorce journey and just starting, or they're having problems, financially. I think majority of people with inflation is struggling there, or mental health. So let's get to our first one here. Wife took kids out of state and filed for divorce. As the title says, I was out of town on a trip and excited to see my kids. When I got to the home airport, instead, I got a $10,000 deduction from my bank account and saw that my wife texted me that we're getting a divorce and my kids are 1,000 miles away. My kids are 2 and 6. The 6-year-old was supposed to start kindergarten this week, feeling crushed and overwhelmed, not seeing my kids. In addition to the surprise dissolution of my marriage, she took the dog and gave him away to a home where he was attacked by another dog. Been desperate trying to find a lawyer to take my case, but no one's calling me back. After leaving messages for a dozen firms, took the day off tomorrow and need help.
Wow. Well, I wish I could say that was an uncommon story, but this kind of thing does happen a lot. Definitely get a lawyer and get legal advice. A lot of lawyers are busy in court and trial, and it's really hard to get on something, like that urgent and quickly, but you will find someone. Just keep calling people. Um, you may need to, you know, get someone in the state that she moved to. I'm not sure where she moved, but um, just keep calling till you find someone.
All right. With that, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for joining us on the Modern Divorce Podcast. Thank you.